Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be finishing up the aquarium bookshelf that's right behind me. So this is something that kind of came about out of a necessity. I have a ton of books and a bunch of random knickknacks that needed a place to live, but I didn't want to, do this whole big thing without having also the option to put some fish tanks on display as well. You can see we have one tank here already, which this is a 6-gallon water box tank. There's another one right here, and then we don't have another one right here. The mirror is just kind of there for fun right now, but I think we're going to be changing these out and kind of have it be a consistent theme here. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to look pretty good, but I wanted to give you guys a little overview on the shelves because it took a long time for me to find what would work best for me, and what's best for me is maybe not going to be the best for you if this is something that you're looking to do. So let's go over it a little bit. You can see right off the bat, we had to do some makeshift bracing because these shelves could only hold about 33 pounds. And these tanks with water in them, depending on how much substrate, can weigh, upwards of 90 pounds, and that's obviously not going to work. So we have these little makeshift braces that I put in, which is just some random wood I had around the house. It was all the same. Cut them to fit, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's working so far to support the weight. Now, there's obviously a lot of different options when it comes to shelves, and you can certainly find some that will be able to hold the appropriate amount of weight and you won't have to do this bracing. I got this particular shelving unit on Wayfair, and there was a lot of different options. This worked out the best for me just because it was big enough. It had enough room for the other things besides fish tanks. And I'm still kind of deciding if I want to get a different shelving unit for another part of the room that could certainly hold the weight of bigger tanks or bowls or whatever I might want to do. So lots of options for shelves, obviously. Just kind of go through, see what you need, and make sure if you're unsure about the aquariums you're going to be putting on it, make sure it can be adjustable. This one, is supposed to have some additional shelves here. I removed it so we'd have enough space to be able to get into tanks and things like that. So these are all things that you need to keep in mind, but I'm sure that you can find something that's going to work good for you. So now we need to figure out what we're going to be doing with our 3 tank positions. I think ultimately we're going to be keeping this one here. This has been one that we set up at the old house, and it's been really nice. It hasn't given us many problems. I think this is going to stay here. This little shallow tank over here, I think we're going to swap that out for something totally new. And then I think we're going to leave the hair grass in this one, but then build a whole new scape around it. Still a mess out here, guys, but we're getting closer to the setup of the big tank. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have that done. I think what we're going to do is reuse a bunch of the cork bark here from the original scape and just kind of tweak it a little bit. I think that's going to be the best thing for me for this tank. Just makes the most sense. Gotta pack an order really quick. Lucas is getting 4 ounces of community. If you guys haven't tried legit fish food yet, you need to try some. We got free samples on the website. We're also doing still a 17% off kind of sale thing that's going to run for an amount of time. I'm not sure how long. So check it out. There's a link in the description. At least go and pick up some samples. I know your fish are going to love this stuff. And don't forget that every bag you purchase on our website directly supports Project Piaba. We're giving back and we're taking on big fish food while we do it. I know I have a tank out here somewhere. This is my solution to the rain that of course popped up unexpectedly, but yeah, we got a lot of work to do around here, guys. But here is that other 6-gallon tank that I think we want to use today. We are in not waste anything mode right now, guys, so we are gonna kind of pull some of this dead plant material up out of this substrate. Hopefully we can sift it just well enough here with our fingers, and then maybe take all of it out and reuse as much of it as we can. Jeez, I'm sweaty already. Guys, look, I don't know if this mirror thing behind the tank is gonna be a cool idea or not. I don't know if it's gonna really do what I think it's gonna do, but we're gonna go for it. I think it might be cool. It might be cool. I'm not sure how it's gonna be putting a light on this. I might have to do it on the side. I don't know. Let's get the substrate in here. Let's go pick some plants and let's turn this into a tank. We're gonna pause on this tank for just a second. I think we have a quick solution for this tank. I have a bunch of this Nana Petite that I don't have a home for, and I think it's gonna go really well on the tree in this tank. But first I need to clean it up a little bit. We have all of this Rotala that I wanna pull out of here because we don't really want it to be growing up back here. And we don't need more tanks to trim. So I'll try my best to pull this stuff out without making too much of a mess in the tank. Everything's harder when you have a bunch of driftwood in it. While that tank is getting a little less cloudy, let's start to work on this guy. So I've been back and forth with a few of the different aquascaping supplies that I have around and still kind of deciding what we're gonna put in this thing. Don't get me wrong, I have a ton of supplies available, but it's all just so random and kind of half used that I don't have a really clear path on this one. So bear with me, we're probably gonna have to do a few takes on figuring out what exactly we're gonna do here, but I think at the end, it's gonna look pretty good. Still working on the layout, but we're getting close. What I want to do now is make sure we have a spot for our light. And for that, we're going to be using what I think is the absolute best nano fish tank light, guys. This is, of course, the ONF Flat Nano Plus. So we have one in the box here. That's the same light that we have on our center tank. This is the kind of souped up version of this one. This is the original that doesn't have app connectivity, so all the same sweet lighting fixtures, but we get to control it in an app, which is pretty nice to be able to do, honestly. Well, okay, so this didn't go according to plan. The more I thought about it, the more I realized we just need to have lights hanging from above here, kind of like how we had at the last place. But my issue is that this is pretty thin. I could do the same method of you put in the little hooks, screw them in, and then you take, you know, where did it go? Like an 18-inch LED, put it up on top, and then you're good to go. Only problem is that I'm not super set up to do that, and I don't know how much I love thinking about screwing into my new shelves, even though it doesn't really matter. It's just a mental block for me. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about here, but ONF actually makes these cool little magnetic circular lights that are basically designed to do exactly what I want to do, but I don't think they sell them in the States. So I'm actively trying to figure out how to get some of those because I think that might be a really good solution. But in the meantime, I think I'm just gonna kind of awkwardly hang this thing right here and just go that way. The main reason being is that if I take this light and I put it on the end here, which I had originally, it's not gonna allow me to do what I eventually want to do with this thing, which is involve some house plants growing up it. Now I actually don't have any pothos plants or anything else that would work good for that, but I did walk by this old setup with the Mondo grass and I thought, hey, that might be kind of cool to try and perch the Mondo like right into some of these places, have the roots hang down, and see how that goes in the meantime. Alright, fast forward a few days here, guys. We can see with the newest tank that we set up, the manzanita wood is starting to mold up, which is totally normal. We have a little bit of a film starting to develop, not uncommon on a tank that doesn't have a filter and has standing water. That's easily solved with just a little bit of time with a skimmer. We have this new Awaza one that we'll be checking out probably a little bit better in a different video. But we actually used it on this tank for a few days to clear it up, and this thing is looking crystal clear. I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. I also managed to get a few house plants. So we have a pothos right here, and then we have a, what is this thing called? A rope plant. Looking at the tag that I had placed up here. And I think this one is going to eventually go into this tank with the Mondo grass. We'll keep that. But I think we'll detail showing that in a separate video. I want to make a dedicated vid for houseplant aquariums and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that if it's something you're interested in. I think that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. You know, the bookshelf isn't completely done. I still have to put a lot of things in here and make it look a little bit better. We have some cord issues that we need to figure out. This lamp needs to move, so it's always a work in progress over here. But thanks so much for hanging out with me today and watching today's video. Don't forget to check out some free samples of legit fish food and try it out for yourself. Also, the sticker store that's right behind you, and hopefully we'll have that tank that's in amongst it all done here pretty soon. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.